This is today's project. We have a flamethrower or a fire eater or whatever you want to call him at the circus. He's amazing. He was fun to play with. All right, underpants are on. Mod Podge is now dry. Bringing in a stencil. It may rip the page a little bit. I'm okay with that. Bringing in my texture paste and a palette knife. And I'm going to put some texture on that page. This is our homemade texture paste. Equal amounts of gesso and Mod Podge, and then enough baby powder or cornstarch to make it as thick as you would like it. This is a lighter one. It's not real thick. All right, we're going to lift that off. As you can see, not every hole in the stencil has been filled. And now we will let that dry. Good morning, good morning. Coffee in hand. The sun is not up yet. Yoga is done. Putting some ochre on this fun page with the texture paste. Drag that over the pages, and we will let that dry. I'm going to bring some sandpaper in and knock this down a little bit. Bring our texture paste back up. Dust that off. Bring in the yellow-green. I'm using the same colors throughout the book. Let that dry. Dilute some blue with some water. Nice and soupy. I'm going to add some splatters. I am working on 2 pages at once, 2-page spread, so they are coordinated. And we'll let that dry. After that's dry, I'll knock it down with some sandpaper again, bringing that texture paste back forward. I'm going to bring in some pearl lilac and a yummy, yummy bubble wrap. Sometimes this color will come off of the bubble wrap and go onto the art piece. Which I love, and I am more than okay with that. So let's just see. A little bit of texture there where some stuff is coming off of the bubble wrap. Yep, like that. And we will let that dry. I'm going to bring in some Worn Lipstick Distress ink and a makeup sponge. Hit some of these high points of the texture paste. That's not going to do. I'm bringing in my watercolor crayon, going around the edge. For some reason, I just want a little bit of pink on here. So I'm taking a piece of corrugated cardboard and adding some stripes on the page for some color. A little bit noisier background, a little more energy going on there. Let that dry. I'm going to add a little bit of noise with some black StazOn and a rubber stamp. Bring in the half circles, put it across the bottom, which I believe we've done on every page. Hard to tell. Haven't visited this in a little while. My intention was to have the half circles on every page. All right, well, my workspace is absolutely a mess. I'm going to go forward with another page. I have a very thin coffee stirrer that I'm going to paint with the black gesso on both sides and let it dry. For our next adventure, our next page, I have an image of a guy. I cut his mouth open because he is going to be a flame thrower, a fire breather. Not quite sure what to call him, but he's going to be amazing, whatever it is. So I'm going to glue him down so I know where he's going to be. I will go here 2 inches by his face and I have a cutting mat underneath. I'm going to try and find my X-Acto. I have a piece of sturdy cardboard. It's about 2 inches by 3 inches. Something like that. I'm going to paint it with the black gesso on both sides. And let that dry. I have 2 flame images. I'm going to cut out some flames, shape them into flames anyway. So I'll cut a couple out and then I will show them to you. All right, my gesso's dry. I'm bringing in some Mod Podge. I'm going to be creating a flame. All right, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to cut this out with my X-Acto. Okay, I'm going to come in with my X-Acto and cut out the flames to the best of my ability. Do yourself a huge favor and put in a fresh blade. It makes all the difference in the world as to how easy or how hard it is to cut through the cardboard. I have my flames cut out. I'm going to bring the black gesso in and hit the sides. As to not draw a bunch of attention to the cut areas. So I have the slit cut. I'm going to cut his mouth out. Glue the wooden stick onto the flames with some tacky glue. See where that's going to go. All right, I think that's about where it's going to go. I'm going to use a straw. I wish I had a paper straw, but I don't. Of course, my tacky glue's not dry yet. We're still playing. So this is about where I want the straw. I have the straw with some tacky glue right there. I'm going to slip that into place. Let's see how that works. I'm going to shorten the straw a little bit. Seems like that's a good placement. I'm going to bring some tape in to hold that straw in place. Some gaffer tape. Hold that into place while that dries. So I need to step away while this dries. I have the tape down. I have the stick on the back of the flames. Flame is coming out of his mouth. I dare not move that because everything's wet. So I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrapbook paper so it's kind of sturdy. Fold the sides in. And place it along there. I need a tunnel for the fire to go down. Put some tacky glue down the sides. This is going to go along the side of the page here. Ta-da! All right, that's gonna work. Gotta check it before we go too far. Let's get you out of there. Then I'm going to put Mod Podge on this page and bring that page over. I am going to make a little edge there. Then we'll be putting underpants on here. We can cover as much of that as we need to. Let's bring in the Mod Podge. We'll clamp these pages together. So I have the clamps on there. I'll bring in my rice bag, put that on there, weigh that down, and let that dry. Alright, so he's dry. I'm going to go around him with a Stabilo. But here's his flame. Pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to Stabilo him around the edges. Bring him in the bottom of my baby blue. And some black gesso, and just putting some embellishments across the bottom. And of course, once I start with dots, I don't know when to stop. All right, we'll let those dry, and then we're going to see how our fire breather looks. How fun is that? All right, here's our fire breather. Here's the magic stick with his flame on it, and he is awesome. Ta-da! Let's get a little close-up of him. Pretty cool. All right, your turn. Go create, go play, go have fun.